Okay, so we're going to talk about settling New York state taxes. I'm just kind of going through this post and adding a little bit of extra details on this video. Okay, so when you're looking at your options to resolve a New York state tax debt, there's generally three options. You can have offering compromise, you can have a hardship, and you have payment plans. The one that's really only settling it for less than you owe is an offering compromise. A hardship is essentially a payment plan for $0. If your debt eventually expires, then that is actually kind of settling your tax debts as well. So we'll go through these in a little more detail. So the best option, obviously, is NYS offering compromise. You settle the debt for much less than you owe. You know, New York generally isn't going to accept as low an offer as the IRS. IRS accepts $50, $100 offers all the time. New York State, generally, you're going to want to increase a little bit, and it's a little more flexible. The agent has a little more flexibility on asking for more money. They have a little more flexibility on accepting the offer and compromise. The rules are not as cut and dry with New York State as they are with IRS, and part of that is because New York is super expensive to live in. So New York State is more willing to accept, higher numbers in some of your financials than the IRS is, and that's why New York offering compromise, really is the best way to go. The second step is a hardship status. Usually, if you have a paid off house or you have other assets that, make it so you don't get an offer in compromise, you still might get a hardship status. They will file liens against you, but it is essentially paying nothing for quite a while. And if the debt eventually expires, you pay nothing and it's all over. The last option is New York State payment plan and penalty abatement. This is unfortunately what happens in a lot of cases, because if you don't owe New York State that much, they're not going to settle. You owe a couple grand, they're going to want you to pay it. We have a lot of cases where people owe IRS a lot of money and New York State not that much money. And in those cases, you may end up in a payment plan with the New York State and then paying off IRS and an offer in compromise. And in fact, what we do in many cases is you set up the payment plan first with New York State because that's considered an expense. Now, when you submit the IRS offer in compromise, it looks like you have less money available, and that gets you a better result. So those are kind of the three options that we're going to use in almost all New York cases. There's some other things that may come up, such as, amending tax returns and doing that kind of stuff. That works if the information in the data is accurate. I don't recommend just amending tax returns to try to lower tax debts with false information. It's very likely your likelihood of getting audited or asked to back up the information you're changing is way more likely than just normally filing a tax return. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions, you owe more than $20,000, you can give us a call. We can handle it for you. You can reach us at 888-515-4TAX. Again, that's 888-515-4TAX or 4829. And this is Robert, one of the attorneys here at TRP. Thanks for watching this video.